Hello and welcome to the shop. I'm Jared and this is a Questionable Garage, and that was a little bit different of an intro. A lot of times when I decide to jump and get one of these vehicles running, especially if it's been in a barn and it's kind of a fun place to start it, we do it right there in location. But we didn't this time. This is a Ford F100 from 1971, and it's just been kind of drug around barns for the last 25 years. Now, why did I not decide to go ahead and get this thing running and driving right out of the barn where it was currently parked? It was parked on a lot of poop. That was an old cattle barn, and when it got tucked underneath there, it was just, quite frankly, on a giant pile of poo. And I did not want to roll around trying to make this thing run there, so I decided we're gonna drag it back into the shop and get this thing running. Now, for those of you who are gonna complain, Jared, you didn't need to buy another car. Well, I sold 3, so I could justify buying one more. But I didn't buy this one. I stole it. It belongs to a friend who's been wanting to get it running and driving again for a very long time, sees all of my projects, sees our friends' projects, and it never gets moved on its own power. It just unfortunately keeps getting moved to different barns and out of the way. So I decided, while I'm waiting on parts for the 4 other things I'm working on, we're gonna get this running because it was parked 25 years ago. So it should just start right up, right? It's a Ford, in theory. I also, looking at it, kind of wish I'd washed it outside. There is a 1/4 inch of dust on this thing. It's impressive. But let me bring you in a little bit closer. We're gonna take a tour of the F100 Custom. I think this is called a dent side. I'm not a Ford. It is dented on this side, so I'll call it a dent side. But let's take a tour of it on the outside, the inside, in the engine, and then try to get it running. Well, as you can tell, we are not in the shop, we are in the kitchen, and whether you're trying to save money to build your next hot rod or get an old rusty truck running, today's sponsor, Thrive Market, is gonna help you with that. Now, if you've never heard of Thrive Market, they are your go-to destination for healthy and sustainable groceries. They offer a stress-free shopping experience for their members with savings on every order. One thing I really do like about Thrive Market is they restrict questionable ingredients. They have a list of over 1,000 questionable items they won't let in any of the products they offer on the website. We know a thing or two about questionable stuff, and we try not to put them in our bodies, just in what we build. They offer affordable, healthy groceries delivered straight to your door, and they make it easy to fit your dietary needs. If you're vegan, high keto, high proteins, whatever you try to put in your body, they make it easy to make sure you select the right groceries to support that diet. One of my favorite things is the convenience of Thrive. You open up your phone on the app, you go to the website, you scroll through, you find your favorite brands. It's not some weird obscure stuff. Now, they do have the fun obscure brands, but the thing you're gonna grab from the grocery store, you're gonna be able to save a lot of money online. In my order, I was saving a lot, like 75% off one of the treats our dogs absolutely love. 75% off. That is a tremendous amount. You can get just about everything. Flour, baking mixes, your trail snacks, dog treats. You can even order meat and other perishable goods from the website. Thrive also gives back. For every paid membership, they offer membership to a teacher or low-income family, making sure quality food can make it into the hands of everyone. So if you're ready to check out Thrive Market, click the link in the description box below or go to thrivemarket.com/thequestionablegarage, where you're going to save 30% off your first order when you sign up and get a free gift. Again, click the link in the description box below or head on over to thrivemarket.com/thequestionablegarage. When you sign up, 30% off your first order, a free special gift, plus you're opening up a whole world of awesome groceries. I will say, underneath all of its dust, it is a beautiful mustard color. We'll call it, I guess Colonel Mustard, Sergeant Mustard, Lieutenant Mustard, spicy yellow mustard, but it is a pretty solid truck. Most tires are trying to hold air. We've got a little bit of bed rot, slight scraping, a dent in the door, a little bit of rot down at the bottom of the door, complete with a roof full of barn swallow poo. Spare core, we can take that in and get an extra $5 gift card at the O'Reilly. One little small, rust spot in the bed, but just a good, simple, honest truck. I mean, it's kind of a cool thing. I'm not a not a Ford guy. Also, I was talking with someone, so I was parked in the year 2000, and I got really offended when someone said, oh, 2000, that was a quarter of a century ago. That wasn't very nice. It's 25 years back to the year 2000. Whew, getting old. But yeah, inside here, we've got, you know, mud daubers as you'd expect. The door panel removed. More of this just fantastic color inside and out. Would you like some brown to go with your tan or your yellow? Couple little cracks, but I mean, all the pieces are here. Seats in really good shape. Remarkably, we got keys. Now, you may be asking yourself, wait, in 71, it came with a column shifter for the manual trans, and you're right. This has been upgraded with a 74 transmission with overdrive, so bonus. Extra gears means more speed, I think. But this door panel was off to try to work on hammering out that dent. Oh, that wasn't the mud dauber kind, that's the paper wasp kind. We got ourselves a cassette deck, no AC, racing steering wheel. Not as musty as you would expect. Well, we got some mouse turds, a brake pedal. What do we got for music? Barbara Mandrel. Live. No, it's Barbara Mandrel Live. Can't say I'm familiar. There you go. Before I show you under the hood, I need to correct myself. This is a 1975 Ford F100 Custom. It's not a 71. I popped the hood, saw something that confused me, and then I went and found the VIN number and decoded it. Probably should do that to start with, because I'm pretty sure there's already at least 30 Ford people who have corrected me in the comments telling me because of the grille type or body type or color combination, it had to be a 75. So it's a 75, not a 71. The reason that made me, that I had to go looking under our hood is that Ford DuraSpark 2. These are very dependable electrical ignitions. They work great all the time, never have any problems. Now, if they are starting to go out, you'll be able to tell. They tend to kind of start to leak a little bit. They have some potting and chemical to protect the electronics on there. And when they start to go bad, they leak. Yeah, just like that. So, I'm willing to bet I'm buying a Ford DuraSpark module. But this is a VIN code G, which means we've got ourselves a 2-barrel 302, 5-liter V8 in this thing. It's not a straight 6, it's not the baby engines. This is a 302 Windsor. You may also notice probably the coolest custom air cleaner lid ever known to exist. That is, yes, a metal paint can tin lid with a hole drilled into it, the exact same size of the air filter. Maximum hot air induction. But we take a look around again. She is very filthy. A smart man would have gone ahead and cleaned this thing before bringing it in, but I don't claim to be one of those. Worried we might have to pick up a radiator for it. Let's take a look. Like I said, we've tried not to spoil this. We're going pretty fresh and raw with it. Come on, one more turn. There we go. Hello? She's dry. Probably leaking a little there. At least we have a reason. When you have no coolant in it and no visible reasons to not have coolant in it, it can be a little worrisome. Like, you know, maybe you have a bad head gasket. But other than just dirt and mud, she looks pretty clean. Nothing too alarming on it. So that's all encouraging. So what do you need to do when you're trying to get the engine started? You need to see if it turns over. You need to make sure you have some type of spark, which I don't think we're going to. We'll find out pretty quickly, but our main goal is we're gonna try to get this thing turning over. If it's not gonna work, we gotta soak and do some things like that. Once we get that going, then we figure out if we have a clutch, then we figure out if we have brakes and cooling system, and see if we can get this thing driving. Start. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we do get some movement out of the carb. I think it's actually opening and closing these. The ignition coil is just bouncing around with some wires. That's a good sign. All right, we're gonna try to turn. Should have cleaned it. All right, so here we go. Just by the belt. Oh, no. Okay, not turning on the belt. 15/16. She's not even trying. That's not good. Okay, let me get a small extension. Okay, it's fully on now. Nothing. We might just have a super rust ridge. So, we will pull spark plugs. What do we got hiding down in there? So much dirt and dust. Wow. It doesn't look terrible inside there. Aside, you know, from the fact the engine doesn't turn. I've had such good luck with every revival I've tried to do. It's the first time I'm coming up against an engine that just doesn't want to turn. I think I'm gonna air blast this engine too before we actually pull the plugs. See how all the others look, and then you can see she's definitely crunchy there. Come on, wake up for me. Test along with the ridiculously long camera. There we go. Oh wait, that's not an engine. Here we go. Wait, yeah. There we go. Come on. We can get in the hole. Come on. In the hole. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That's your piston, and that is your whole cylinder filled with just, oh no. It's just like all kinds of insane formations. It's this was supposed to be a fun, quick, easy project. We could probably make it run, but we're not just trying to make it run. We want to make it, you know, work. This is bad on so many levels. So there is no hope of even trying to save this thing with the heads on it. So I guess we're gonna tear into it. I'm still 98.9% sure, short of major engine work, this thing won't come around. But regardless, the heads are gonna have to come off of it. So we're gonna cue some really good epic music. We're gonna fire the GoPro back up, run some time lapse so that way I can get some fans going and play some epic music for me. Get this intake up and off and get these heads off of Colonel Mustard here. What's really sad, any of you have done old car work, every manifold bolt came right out. Nothing broke. Also, it still had coolant in it, and I'm making a mess on the floor. I don't think we have to worry, oh my goodness, too much about water in the cylinders. Oh, that's a heavy cylinder head. Oh. That rear side, not too terrible. Not, oh no, it's never mind. Never you mind. That's the mostly good side. I can't wait. See this other side, and then I'll clean it up, and then we'll really get a good look at things. Like, oh wow, that is just such an assortment of things. Oh, and crust. Oh boy. Here's some of it. Looks like it's had that head done at some point. Just one side, you know. I don't see this engine living anymore. I think she's done. Which is kind of a big problem, but we'll figure it out. This ain't the only Ford in the world. Kind of discouraged, you know? So, this happens. Like, I know some revivals will hide engine problems, some will show them. The OG Derek will show you whatever goes wrong, and then some people make it look like you sprinkle pixie dust on things in the field, and they always come back to life. This thing has been covered for 25 years, and it still managed to get water in. So that alone would be pretty bad. Make you wonder if it's game over. Yeah, I mean, it's made a crust. You hear the texture? There's a substantial pit in that. Yeah, there you go. In that block wall. Trash. I still want to try to get it started today. Or not today, but this episode. Definitely not starting this engine unless maybe I did 2-cylinder delete. We run it as a 4-cylinder. 6-cylinder. 8 minus 2 is 4. 6. 8 minus 2 is 6. We can do math. It happens. I mean, I can't get companies to email me back about control arms. I need to pick up a tool that still hasn't shown up. It's just, you know, cars do this to you sometimes. It's supposed to be simple. It's not. And it's going to get more complicated here quick. At least I got $2 worth of scrap metal. All right, so it is the start of another day, and our friend has not discovered his truck missing. So we are successful in that part, but we're definitely not going to be successful in us, you know, like getting it started in 3 days, surprising him with upgrades and redelivering it. If you forgot somehow from a couple seconds ago for you, this isn't a savable engine, which is really sad. I need a whole new engine. So I'm still working on that, but we need to clean the truck. I thought, you know, we'll get it running, maybe rolling, driving in the first episode, then do all our upgrades. Well, now that we really have to work on this thing, it is filthy. I mean, absolutely disgusting when you look at the amount of dirt just everywhere. So I say we get it outside, we knock the collector barn dust off of it. Look how thick that is. Get it cleaned up, shine up the interior so we can see what we're gonna have when we're done, when it's running, after I've spent way more than budgeted. 'Cause I need a radiator, a full exhaust, the engine, probably a fuel tank. I just discovered the windshield's cracked. You know, friends can be expensive, but I think the truck's worth it. So we are gonna get the door open up. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm gonna figure out whereabouts my friend is to make sure I can put it back outside and clean it, because I don't want to be in the middle of cleaning it and having him suddenly discover what I'm up to. So I'm going to do a little recon. We're going to figure out where our buddy is. Then we're going to go outside and clean up this truck. Listen, I'm not a Ford guy. So far, every Ford on the channel has needed an engine, but they don't make trucks that look this good anymore. right, this is a dent side, right? I could Google it, but I think because of, you know, this body line where they took extra time, I think that's dent side. I think. That is a whole lot of crud. It's also been pouring rain half the time we've been washing the truck. I'm very wet. The truck is wet, but is already looking catastrophically better. I'm gonna go dry off real quick, and then we'll take a final tour of what we managed to accomplish. Definitely not running, but we did accomplish a whole lot of stuff, I think. I feel like. All right, so I decided I want to try to tackle some of this. This is all tree sap, and I already hit it a little bit with the SOS pad, see how we could do, and it's not cutting it. So you can buy expensive sap removers. You can also use your isopropyl. 90% is better, but it's a lot harder to get in a large quantity. And this is gonna take a large quantity, I think. So dam her up a little bit. A couple other rags. I don't know that I've ever had to encounter this much sap or get through it. It's impressive. Again, it just goes to show, you know, maybe this wasn't indoors all 25 years. You know, maybe it spent a little bit of time under some cypress trees or something. I can actually smell the sap. It smells like pine sol, but there's just so much of it. I'm gonna need more than a gallon. We're gonna be going about, so if you need a lot of isopropyl, buying it from the veterinarian section at Tractor Supply is gonna save you a lot of money. it's dissolving it. My hands are sticky, and it's amazing that it smells less like isopropyl and more like pine sol. We're lifting the paint a little bit with it too. You can see anywhere it's fully dissolved, it's lifting. We'll make this work. Probably put gloves on. My skin's gonna dry out something furious. Man. So yeah, pay attention to your old cars. If it's got a bunch of tar on it, get it off. Don't let it sit there and just eat away at your paint. Now you may be tempted to just mechanically strip it, but if you go that route, you're gonna run a higher risk to the paint. If it's these big crystals, you can sometimes chunk them off, but even that, you really do need to be careful of it, because then you may lose more than just the paint that it's kind of dissolved and eaten. It's gonna mechanically lift and rip off a bunch of paint as well. You're better off if you get it soaking like this, soften it, then you can sometimes come in with a plastic wedge, since you're starting to soften the tar. This is all pretty well soaked. I'm gonna go get a little plastic wedge and let's try to pop some up. Okay, see how that lifted up. Now that paint probably wasn't gonna survive anyway, but I'm just gonna go back. We're gonna coat and soak some more. Other things you can do, soak your rag and set it on top. I'm gonna work on trying to get the hood, at least this section, cleared, because I do want to re-show you the process of the SOS pad on half the hood, so we can do a 50-50. So I'm a fan of the SOS steel wool soap inside. You can get just super fine steel wool and some Comet. You get some water, pre-soak them a little bit, make sure your hood's a little wet, and again, you're just gentle pressure. You're not trying to sand some wood or, you know, anything major. You're just gliding it over, nice and gentle, to lift those last little bit of imperfections, smooth it out. Get it ready in case you're gonna do your own linseed mix, buy one of the pre-made stuff. It was funny, I was talking to the wife the other day at a car show. Mentioned patina trucks and patina looks and how, you know, I like patina cars. She said something that was very truthful but also kind of hurt. She said that patina is just something car guys made up so we didn't have to paint our cars. At least for me, that's very true. I don't have to worry about keeping it shiny, but on the flip side, I know there's some patina cars out there. Sometimes keeping a patina car looking good is a lot more work than something new and shiny. I'm married a pretty smart lady. Kind of hard to believe this is the same truck I drug in. Even just knocking the dirt off of it helped a ton. There we go. All right. So I did go ahead and wet this side down a little bit too, because, you know, it would be cheating to say, look how great this looks, when the other side is completely dry and drab. But you can kind of see what we get out of it. So we've got all of that imperfections we can't save because of the tree sap. But if you look down here and you see this slight bit of rust pitting, and then you come to this side, even though it's under the moisture, you see just how much more visible it is. So by coming through with those SOS pads, you're knocking this giant down to just these little speckles. So that is one of the big goals of these Scotch-Brite baths, steel wool baths, things like that. There's still a lot of tar on this side and the roof to get out, but I think this thing all padded up and then sealed up, so you can even just see the difference. Even though that's a little bit wet, the hood blossoms so much more. And again, when I was talking about that rust flowering through here, but you can see how we got this down, mostly down to metal, and then all of that visible rust again. This is a great example of it. And again, working more, we could have gotten rid of more of the small bubbles, but we would have ended up with more metal exposed. So I think that was a really good compromise. And again, looking at it from here, you can just see how much more richness we get, especially once we get the whole thing done. Why do I pick trucks to do this too? There's just a lot of square inches on a truck. My goodness. But, well, actually, there's probably less metal on this than there was on an Econoline van. But we're gonna be able to make this thing shine amazing. But for me right now, I need to take off to go get an engine for it, because nothing good is gonna come of it if we don't get an engine in the truck and have it running. And that's where I'm gonna get to show you some more really cool and exciting parts that we've got for our F100 as we're doing our surprise revival for our friend. So next episode, we get to unbox some really awesome parts. Again, speaking of unboxing, remember today's sponsor, Thrive Market. If you're looking to save some money on some really good groceries, I just love the fact that I'm able to get the things I like, name brands, and save a tremendous amount of money. So instead of going to the organics aisle, jump on to Thrive Market, links in the description. Save a good chunk of money, even without the code, but use the sign-up code and you're gonna save even more. Also, big thank you to all of our patrons, channel members. I appreciate you guys. We've got the Discord, eventually that'll go public, and the patrons and YouTube channel members get a special room to chit chat once I kind of figure out how to moderate a Discord before I let everyone in. But if you want an early access where you get to see pictures and behind the scenes and extra little clues, jump on over. Appreciate all of you guys who support through that way, and all of you who support by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. That helps the channel a tremendous amount as well. But that's it for today. We had a whole lot of unexpected things, but we still persevered. We've got it looking a whole lot cleaner, making it a little bit nicer to work on when we do get a new Windsor for it. Fords and revivals just don't always go well. It seems like they always end up needing an engine. Less Fords, I guess, in the future. But I'm Jared, reminding you guys to always make questionable choices and revive the Fords. Put an engine in it, but still revive them. We'll see ya.